Today we're talking about what I call the silent contract. Hey, I'm Sharon Pope. I am the love and relationship coach for women who are struggling in lonely and disconnected marriages and trying to figure out, can they stay and make it work, or is the only answer to lovingly release it? If you find the information in this video and on this channel helpful, I hope you'll subscribe. So today we're going to talk about the secret contract that we create between ourselves and our spouse. So I'm going to give this some life for you by telling you a story about a client of mine. I will call them Jill and Barry. That is not their names. I was coaching Jill. I have never even met Barry. They were coming up on their 16th wedding anniversary, and she told me this is not going to be a celebratory event. We're not going to exchange gifts. Like, we have been struggling for a long time. And obviously, if she contacted me, she's at the point of where she's considering potentially leaving the marriage. So her resentments about what's going on inside of her marriage have really built up, and they've gotten pretty heavy. Her marriage is nothing like what she thought it would be. I mean, we probably all went into marriage with an idea of what it was going to be like. So for Jill, she felt like they were certainly going to carry an equal workload between the two of them. She thought they would want the same things and see things pretty much the same way. She thought they would want to spend some really good quality time together. And she genuinely thought that he would care about what she needed and that he would try his best to meet those needs. But it seemed like he was the one that was getting his needs met, and she was never getting her needs met. Thinking to herself, when is it going to be my turn? When do I just get to kind of kick back, put my feet up, and watch a ball game without feeling the guilt of everything that isn't being done? When do I get to go for a run or a bike ride in the morning? I can't, because I have to get the kids ready. I have to get myself ready. When can I just work late and not have to have the thought of, do we have anything in the house here that I can create for dinner for the family? When was she going to be able to get to do the things and feel lighter the way she felt like probably her husband was feeling? How come his needs were getting met and her needs weren't? And that's really the source of a lot of resentments for her. So there was this, what I'll call a silent contract that she created in her mind that basically said, look, once we are individuals, but once we get married, we are now part of an entity. We are part of a couple, we're part of a family, and the needs of the couple or the needs of the family have to now come before the needs of the individual. So I made up, with her help, of course, what that silent contract probably had in it. And I'm going to read it to you, okay? It said something like this: I, as a mother and a wife, will ultimately prioritize the needs of the family over my own individual needs. This is how you will feel my love for you. You, the husband and father, should acknowledge that sacrifice and make similar accommodations in your own life. When that doesn't happen, I will try to change your behavior with some form of talking or yelling or attempts to control your behavior. If and when that doesn't work, because it never does, I will carry resentments, withhold my love and affection, and give you the silent treatment as punishment. Because, by the way, that's what I saw my mom do with my dad, and they're still married, so that's what I learned. It is at this point that you should realize what it is that I need and make the necessary accommodations. Oh, one more thing. I want to be able to talk to you about anything, and I want to feel heard, supported, and cherished by you. Now, obviously, I am exaggerating to make a point. And here's the thing that I want you to realize, and the teachable point of this is that really, in our long-term marriages, it is the only place where we have to navigate this sense of, yes, I am an individual and I am part of a relationship as well. Now, here's the thing that I want you to realize. So for women, we were socialized at a pretty young age that we should put our needs aside in favor of other people's needs. Also, being the nurturer and the caretaker comes very naturally for us. So literally, this is the way that we show love to the people that we love in our lives. It's almost commensurate. How much I love you is commensurate with the amount of sacrifice that I will make for you in terms of getting my needs met. But we don't let our husbands off the hook like that. And our husbands never learned that same thing, that their needs were not important and that other people's needs should come first. They didn't learn that. And so men oftentimes really resist the loss of freedom that can come with once you are part of a couple. So think of it like this. Women are more likely, this is generally speaking, obviously this is not across the board in every situation, right? But in general, because of the socialization between men and women are much more likely to abandon their individual self when they become part of a relationship. It's almost like they get swallowed by that. Where men very much will stay in their individuality and they'll resist being part of a couple where someone else has a say in what they do and how they do it and when they do it by, right? And so, in general terms, women need to hang on to more of their individuality. We need to stop subjugating our needs and calling it love. That's not love, it's actually a lie. Because when we subjugate our needs, we're not letting the people that we love really know who we are and what we need. And men need to lean in a little bit more to the fact that they are now a part of something that is bigger than themselves. You see, when we were single, it was easy to be individuals. But once you become married, that's when you have to navigate this idea of, yes, I am both separate and a part of something else. So here's what I want you to know. The health of relationships, I find, is typically somewhere in the middle. It's not in the extremes. Like, he should meet every single one of my needs and he should put his needs last just like I do. I mean, if I can't ever relax, why should he ever be able to relax? That's sort of the idea, right? Or he should be able to do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, and I'm just going to be happy. Like, here's the deal. The health of the relationship is somewhere in the middle of that. It's absolutely possible to maintain a healthy sense of self and be a part of a relationship. But in order to do that, you've got to be conscious of when you're doing it. I think you've got to be conscious of what your expectations are of your partner. I don't think there's anything wrong with having some expectations of our partner. I think most of us carry too many expectations. We make these agreements in our minds that they never signed. That's why I call it the silent contract. I think that we can have this sense of self and we can have this sense of a couple, but we got to be conscious. We've got to understand what our expectations are. And if we're going to keep those expectations, we've got to be able to articulate it and understand whether or not they agree to that your partner agrees to that. I mean, so many of us, we walked down the aisle and we had all of these expectations about what it was going to be like. But we never actually spoke about those things. And we certainly never got agreement that that's the way that it was going to work. And so then we end up disappointed and resentful. There's almost not a marriage I've seen that has not suffered from this in some way, shape, or form. So what I want you to know is this is completely solvable. But the thing you have to have is being conscious. You know why? Because if we can't see it, we can't change it. Nothing is ever going to change if we can't see really what is going on, why we do what we do. But when we show up in our relationships as much more conscious human beings, conscious individuals, and conscious people as part of a relationship, then we can create change in the relationship. Okay? If you're ready to become more conscious about how you're showing up in the relationship and do what you can to see if the marriage can feel any better before you make that really painful decision to leave, then I invite you to schedule a Truth and Clarity session with me or a member of my team. We will dive in, understand what your problem is, and if I can help you, we'll make an offer to work with you. All right. So if this was helpful to you, I hope you will give this video a like. And if you want to know when I come out with new videos, then just click the red bell in the upper right corner. and you'll be notified every time a new video is posted. All right, take good care.